Okay, a lot of us are struggling a little bit at the start of this season, so what better than to use a free hit to kind of revive our seasons? G, do you think it's a good idea to use one this week?
It's not a fashionable choice, but I feel like every week we should consider or look at what a free hit would look like. But it's not going to be popular this week because there isn't many matchups where it's big team plays little team.
Yeah.
However, Arsenal play Man City. And if you've got 4 or 5 Arsenal Man City players, let's say you're on double Arsenal or double City, there are 4 players you might not want because I feel like that's going to be a stalemate 0-0, 1-1. And if you've got attackers in that fixture, it's not a good one. So it's always worth considering. Also, regardless of a free hit or not, these are players I like for this game week. So for your transfers, this could be a relevant video. So yeah, hopefully people get something out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm intrigued because I have got 4 attacking-ish midfield and attackers involved in this game. I've got Gyökeres, I've got Haaland, I've got Reinders, I've got Declan Rice, and I'm kind of open to the idea on the back of wildcarding last time out and getting a good score, following that up with a good score with a free hit. So I'm open to this conversation today. I'm going to see if the conversation can sway me. So what do you want to look at first?
The fixtures, I just want to show you them in game week 5 because usually the first thing I do when I'm on free hit is I'm eyeing up who's got the best fixtures and do I want to go double or triple ups on any team.
Yeah.
Worth noting, the ones that would have jumped out, Forest Burnley, I don't think it does now. I don't think you want to go big on Forest. Wolves Leeds, I really like that for a clean sheet for Wolves. I know Wolves have been dreadful, but I don't see Leeds scoring. And I'm going to go big on Wolves defence. Chelsea versus United, you want to back them, I think. Fulham Brentford's hard to call. Bournemouth Newcastle's hard to call, though. You're going to go for one Bournemouth player for sure. Remember, Newcastle would have played Barcelona, I think, on the Thursday. So again, that's a Sunday fixture with a short turnaround for Newcastle. And then look, Villa Sunderland a few weeks ago, we would have gone, yeah, we'll go triple Villa. I don't think that's going to be the case now. So
triple Sunderland.
Yeah, exactly. It's not perhaps the matchups we were looking for in 5. But if you've got 4 attacking players from Arsenal City, it's worth consideration. So let's have a look where we've gone. We'll start in goal. I've actually gone for a first and a second choice goalkeeper from the same team. This just guarantees if there's a freak injury, like you're only going to play one. So I've gone with the Wolves lads. It was actually Sam Johnson that played in game week 4. And it was because of that I went, oh, what if Jose Sarr's back or Johnson's not back? So just go for both. It's not much money. And I fancy Wolves for a clean sheet versus Leeds. Should we see that defence?
Yeah, let's do it.
I've gone for some DEFCON beasts, mate, because DEFCON has changed the way we need to pick defenders, and some of them are just picking up DEFCON every single time. So let's go see the first defender we've got, and then we'll move through them one by one. So first up, we've got Senesi, mate.
I've been tempted to pick this guy for the last at least 2 game weeks, so I'm in on this.
I might pick him for my actual team. I own Murillo, right? If Murillo is out, I'm buying Senesi. Senesi's had do you know the 2 defenders in the game that have hit DEFCON in every single game so far?
No.
There's 4. So 4 games, 2 centre-backs have hit it every single time. Senesi's 1. Any guesses?
No idea.
Tarkowski. He's also hit it every time.
Well, that's interesting because we talked about him coming into the season as being somebody to target. The fact he's actually living up to it is very interesting. Yeah,
mate, but he costs 5.5 million.
Yeah,
there's DEFCON beasts out there like Senesi for 4.5, 4.6 now. Anderson hasn't hit it every time, but he gets close every time, and he's hit it a couple of times. Fulham's Anderson is also 4.5 million.
So would Tarkowski still be a good pick for this week, even though he's playing Liverpool, because it's those are how he's getting the points?
I mean, he's going to get 4 points, but remember, you lose a point for every brace, every 2 goals conceded. Yeah. So if Liverpool go and score 2, that's a 3-point floor. Yeah. But yeah, he's an okay pick still. Like he's a great pick in the game. Period. Let's move through them. Senesi, who we got next? Munoz. Let's keep showing the defenders. They can tick through and then we'll pause it when we get to the end. I mean, Munoz is the best defender in the game for me in terms of upside. We've not seen the goals yet. We're going to get them. I'd double up on that Wolves defence. Agbadu's going to get, I think, a clean sheet. I really fancy Wolves for a clean sheet. And then Anderson, we spoke about Fulham. Like, if they keep a clean sheet, he's getting the bonus. Yep. And then the best. So I've not spent much money here. There's none of the premium old school Van Dijks and Aguiris of this world, but I don't think you need to at the moment.
No, I'm loving it, mate. I'm genuinely intrigued as to whether I end up copying this. Come on, let's see.
Yeah, I mean, I fancy Anderson for a clean sheet at home.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Brentford might score against Fulham.
Oh,
That's
do you
my
think?
that's,
And I
yeah.
definitely like Agbadu, and obviously Minoz is always fun. And Goodmanson will be on the bench. This will be a 4-4-2, by the way. The
Yeah.
players on the far right of the screen on this video are all going to be on the bench. So let's go for the midfielders. And again, we'll just let it run. Let it run all the way through. I mean, you've got to pick Semenyo, haven't
You
you?
have to, yeah.
And I think you
Yeah.
have to go Salah and probably captain him. Mate, I would go in Burmo, you know.
He's the
I
only
feel like he's
player that would
looking
have
good.
he's the only player that's got, they look for, obviously had that amazing shot that Donnarumma saved at the weekend. He's the guy that is the most dangerous. He's the most reliable to not get caught up in everything else that might be going on mentally or physically on the pitch. And
Yeah.
Burmo, I agree. I think 8.1 is what puts him a little bit out of reach for people, and people don't want to punt on him, especially in the game against Chelsea, which Man United might well lose. But ultimately, if they're going to score a goal, I agree with you. It's probably coming through him.
Full week on the training ground for Man United now, with no European,
Is
and
that good
also
or bad?
out of the
Good or
EFL
bad?
Cup. Yeah, I mean, because they happen to lose to Grimsby, they don't even have an EFL Cup game this week. Like, it should benefit them. Chelsea go to Bayern Munich. That's going to take a lot out of Chelsea.
Yeah.
So, and Maresca tried to rotate and go really weak against Brentford, and then at half time he freaked and put all the big guns on. But
Yeah.
it shows that Chelsea second string is so much weaker than the first, and I do worry about Chelsea for off the back of Champions League games where they're going to have to play some of those players that they started versus Brentford.
Yeah. Sure.
But yeah, I'd go in Burmo. I fancy United to score. Palmer, I think. Let's see what minutes he gets versus Bayern Munich. If he gets 90, you might be worried. But you've got money in this draft. You go light at the back. You go big in midfield. I think Semenyo, Salah, and Palmer would be a 3 for everyone, and Burmo might be controversial. Xhaka would be on the bench, but I like this team very much because it doesn't have Haaland in, so you've got money to spend in other positions.
Yeah.
Let's see the front line because there's no Haaland, but have I gone for anyone else that maybe is a big gun? This is one you wouldn't pick. Ollie Watkins, Dean.
No, I mean, terrible pick. No.
I feel like you've got to just steal back the fixture, but we've said that for 4 weeks with Villa, and they've been rubbish and disappointed. So I'm not precious on the Watkins pick. João Pedro, I would be back in. Again, it's Chelsea double up versus Man United, but they are there for the taking at the minute. And then Isadore's on the bench. So do I love this free hit team? No. Should you play it this week? Only if you've got a dreadful looking team. If you've got injuries, if you've got loads in the City Arsenal game that you want to swerve, I don't mind it at all, but it's got to work for your squad. And Dean, if I'm you, I'm probably not playing it. Do you think this team outscores your team by 20 points? Because I feel like it's got to justify the free hit.
I don't know about by 20 points. Obviously, like the main differences in my team would be, so my front three is completely different to what you've got there because my front three is Haaland, Gyökeres, Muniz. Muniz I'm happy with as a third.
I like the Muniz shout this week, actually.
Came close to scoring against Leeds with a header that he probably should have scored. Will start the game. I'm a bit envious of not having João Pedro for this fixture. And he's possibly even captainable. So there's that. But Gyökeres and Haaland going up against each other isn't ideal. I'd still probably rather have those two than Ollie Watkins. In the midfield, I've got Salah, I've got Semenyo already, and my other two that I'll probably start would be Dewsbury Hall and Declan Rice. Yeah. So again, like, not ideal. I've got another Arsenal player playing. I've also got Gianni that I could potentially play, but again, it's just getting caught up in that fixture. I like your team because it means I haven't got anything really caught up in that City Arsenal game, which I'd love to watch just like casually without worrying about where the points are going. But obviously, I'd then be worried if Haaland does score or if, whatever does happen, then I'm going to be, chasing those points. Defensively, it's only really Senesi that I've got a bit of FOMO over. And if I really wanted, I could probably bring him in. So, yeah, it's probably not quite enough to convince me. 20 points swing, I don't think is going to be there.
Yeah, I hear you. Guys, do hit the buttons on the way out. We'd love you to like, we'd love you to subscribe, and please do drop a comment. But we will be back with another video very, very soon.